Klonsky and Schwartz. Characters: Delmore Schwartz, a writer; Milton Klonsky, a writer. Place: the Times Square area of Manhattan. Time: July 6th to 11th, 1966. The play may run without intermission. Various acknowledgments for people for the use of the poetry of Delmore Schwartz. The Times Square area of Manhattan as it seemed in the summer of 1966. Hot and sultry. Daylight and nightlight mix with pollution. The sky is a sulfurous orange. Smoke, colors of neon, blurred electric signs, shifting visions. Abstract, portable shapes that serve for a table, chairs, a bench, a bar, etc. On the table, coffee, newspapers, a blanket, and so on. New York City music. A 1966 jukebox tune like a whiter shade of pale played on an echoing synthesizer. It mixes with music like Copland's Clarinet Concerto and a Yiddish singer's Romania, Romania. At first, in low light, there is something ghostly about Milton Klonsky. He wears a worn, dark suit and tie, oddly proper. He's a small man, 44, with a pleasant, intelligent face. He has a copy of the Herald Tribune. Squinting, since he does not see well, he pours out a cup of coffee. To Mr. Delmore Schwartz, in care of Mr. Milton Klonsky. Congratulations. As the author of 116 poems, 14 stories, 5 plays, and 121 essays, you are an outstanding poet of American life. Innovative, joyful, biographical, and unashamed of emotion. We quote, "May memory restore again and again the smallest colors of the smallest day. Time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which we burn." You have been awarded $10,000 for your life's work, but we don't know where you are. If we can find you, we'll send you the money. Director of Literary Programs, National Endowment for the Arts, July 11th, 1966. Would it have made any difference? Perhaps. Milton sets the coffee in front of Delmore, who sips it and reads his Times. Milton pours coffee for himself. Lights brighten. First day, 7 July, morning, the automat. Milton sits, they read. Delmore. All Stars? Milton. National League, 7-5 in the Trib. 9 in the Times. Clementi, Mays, Aaron, Koufax, Marchand. No contest, no. So how are you? Fine. You broke yet? I pay the rent. I can help. I don't need it. I got some money. I don't want your money. No salary, no royalties, no bank account, whatever you got. $5 on a mattress. I don't want your money, meaning fuck you. Don't be vulgar. It's contagious. You're bad off. Fuck isn't a verb now. It's an opinion. So what'll it be? Work in Times Square? Yes. 46th Street flea bag? Why not? It's a garbage dump. You say that living in a rat trap? Sullivan Street rent control, $64 a month. Yeah, rewriting every little word. Push this around here, move that around there, half a sentence, then off to the track. Blake, the same. When we met, I said Blake. Yes or no? Yes. Was I right? Yes. So right about Blake. Give me time. That was 25 years ago. Tyrants in history? Almost on. Not that again. Shi Huangti. He built the Great Wall to live like Chairman Mao. Elagabalus, Al Capone of Rome. Tamerlane, cruel as the FBI. Oh, please. Pope Alexander, the Mafia godfather. Ivan the Terrible, Stalin's daddy. Sardanapalus, whom nobody ever heard of, who burned himself up like Hitler in the bunker at Milton. Spare us your historical phobias. Nobody cares. We'll see about that. And where are you? Rewriting Coriolanus when Shakespeare did it better? Why? So you can call me crazy. Did I say Nelson Rockefeller? All right, sorry. Okay, I said I'm sorry. Klonsky, Schwartz, together. Klonsky and Schwartz. Oh, Delmore, Delmore Schwartz. Oh, Milton, Milton Klonsky. Yes, Mr. Benny. You seem all right. Are you all right? Yes. You're the one nuts with that dumb book. How's the Rockette? Okay. How's her husband? He wants to kill me. Can you blame him? Blonde wife meets Klonsky. Calm, dark, understanding Jewish gentleman who listens to her and listens to her and listens her right into bed. It's a national disease. Why did you leave Syracuse? You can't even look at them. You squint. Blondes don't like glasses. I thought you were okay there because you're scared. So you weren't in New York. Scared of every little word. You were getting along. Scared to breathe. You should have stayed there. Once upon a time, there was a man who married a stupid wife. You got that? Yeah, I got that. Somebody asks him, come on, why is she stupid? Right. The man says, because on our wedding night, wedding night, what did she do? She put the pillow under her hips instead of her head. Is that a joke or an insult? Both. Thank you. See, you think you're smart and you're not. Thank you. You're welcome. Jukebox music. Delmore paces. Milton picks up a small package. Children of the immigrants. I like my life in the village. My ghetto in paradise. Barefoot on the summer sidewalk. Rent control. One suit and tie. Bourbon, blondes, weed, and the track. Delmore sits, brooding. He doesn't drink at the White Horse anymore or sit in Washington Square Park like he used to. He wanders around Times Square talking to himself. The Fifth Avenue Library, the Automat, Bryant Park. A bar on 49th Street or one of his hotels where he never lets anybody see his room. Delmore, I will forget the speech my mother made in a restaurant, trapping my father there at dinner with his whore. Her spoken rage struck down a child of 7 years with shame for all three. And I am nothing, for my circus self divides its love 1,000,000 times. Why do I hang around? Like everything else about Delmore, it's sludge, then streaks of gold. Second day, 8 July, noon, the park. Milton takes the paper from Delmore, hands him the package, mail. Delmore, you open it. Well, look at the envelope. It's the University in Albany. Albany. Henry James, asking himself where to begin a heroine's downfall, goes to Albany. Governor Dewey, seeking to cleanse New York and get elected president, goes to Albany. Milton opens the package. The heroine ends up in an evil marriage. Dewey loses the vote. President Truman says, tell those crooks in Albany they can have whatever they want. Now Albany wants me? Why? Full professorship. Gee, 2 classes one semester, 1 class the next. That's a good thing. You can write and drink and write. They don't care. Show up for half my classes. They don't care. Lecture on sex, how to drink, why never go to college, and 1 poem by Yeats. Decent salary, 100 bars, at the end a pension. Do I get an office? I'm sure. My own mimeograph machine, I suppose. The dean, does he write? Here. Milton tosses a thin book of poems to Delmore. I might have known. You don't have to marry her. Read me one. Delmore tosses the book back to Milton, who turns a few pages. Okay, iambic pentameter. That's a title? Yes. As in Shakespeare? Yes, I get it. Milton reading. Strange are the darkening streets of pain, as people along it lurch to food and church and affair. Color of booths, oh, your altars, targets of tin, gods easy to hit, lifting, that's Rilke. Yeah, so it is. She's a thief. She's a traitor to poetry, worse than the giants leaving New York. Elegy 10 minus the angel, she copied bad translations, dumb professors think nobody knows. So what? If that's her idea of iambic pentameter, she can't count to 5. So she's a thief. Stealing is stealing. She can help you because you asked her to. What if I did? She looks 30 years old. That's bad. I've been famous that long. T.S. Eliot writes to me, not anymore. What did you say? You heard me. Well, just tell me this. Can she bake a cherry pie? Oh, to hell with you. Milton throws the paper at Delmore, who catches it, laughs, and turns away. Jukebox music. In Times Square now, 46th Street is still the street of dreams, where actors live in old hotels hoping for parts, where he can live unseen, as far away from literary life as he can get. Delmore, when I like, if I like, I can be someone new, someone very old, a witch in a zoo. But don't tell the grown-ups, because they are sad, because they grew up and forgot what they knew. Sure that I will forget someday too. Milton, same day, 8 July, late afternoon, Automat. Delmore, you've been to the track? Been looking for you. Why? You weren't at the hotel, the park, or the library. Guess not. Take the job. You take it. Teaching gives me headaches, so I should have them. You need it. I'm trying at length to help because you're bored. You can't stand that rat hole apartment you've been in forever. You don't have money for the track. You're between blondes. You said that. You're a walking penis connected to a brain. You said that too. You can't write books, which no wonder because they're not real books, just ideas for books. You won't even begin writing about Blake. My apartment is clean. The track is a national pastime. Some blondes are intelligent. Blake, I'm learning. Your hotel room? I worked there. I spent my life working. I taught. Harvard, Princeton, Syracuse. I edit. I publish. Yeah, and talk. You can't stop, and you write the way you talk. You don't revise anything. You revise everything to death. You think any nutball idea you have is a poem. So decent stuff gets mixed up with junk, and you can't tell the difference. I take risks. You don't even eat anything new. Steak, mashed potatoes, green peas, vanilla ice cream. That's the limit of your culinary imagination. Okay, all right, let's calm down. You're a disgrace to me. To the blondes of the city of... Take it easy. Watching you corner a blonde is nauseating. You're a slithering reptile up and down the shiksa body of innocent women. You get 2 words published. The first thing you do is parade them in front of a Bryn Mawr graduate, get her into bed, pump her full of Klonsky, tell her she's too stupid to talk, you're too smart to listen, put on your hat and walk out. Shut up. You're just a prick posing as a poet. What? Who cares? About you anyway. God damn you, to hell with you. They called me Yeats, Pound, and Eliot, not you. All right, me. Shh, it's all gone. Delmore? Don't get mad. I'm not mad. Delmore? No, it's when I get mad. What is? Oh, no, all right, yeah. Huh? Oh, all right, please. Who are you talking to? Okay, all right. All right, yeah. You're hearing voices. Is somebody talking to you? Now? No. It's gone. What did it say? It calls me names. What names? Like in Yiddish, but it's not. When does it happen? I was walking down 34th Street, the steeple of the Empire State Building. It comes from there. Who is it? I don't know. A Dybbuk, maybe. A Dybbuk. Out of the Kabbalah? Why not? 10 years of analysis, you might as well call it a Dybbuk. Even if there is such a thing as a Dybbuk, what would he want with you? They like beautiful women. One voice, Schumann heard one note, Nijinsky saw one eye. Yes, Schumann, Nijinsky, and Schwartz, the mad genius. Oh, yes, see, Klonsky. Only one I tell off Seleucus, what do I get? It's a metaphor. You know a Dybbuk is not real. I know a Dybbuk is not real, but it's there. What are you drinking? Well, yesterday, 2 bourbons, eggnog. Beer, gin, Medoc, the bottle, brandy, Alexander's. Today, well, bourbon, 2 whiskeys, eggnog, beer. Martini with whiskeys, Medoc, the bottle, brandy. Then I'll go home and take a pill. Another quart of beer, try to sleep. More pills if I have to. Shut up, Dybbuk. What kind of pill? 4 dexedrine, 1 way, 2 Seconal. Oh, for God's sake. So, fine, I stop. 6-month depression. I'm watching TV. A man with a washing machine turns around and looks at me. I wake up. My mother stands at the foot of the bed. I can't tell the living and the dead apart. You need to see a doctor. Another analyst in a hospital. So I'm crazy? I didn't say that. Oh, Seleucus, you will. What did you say? I said you will. No, the Yiddish. That's the way it is. Just my luck. So, off Seleucus. Just look what I get. Why not? A schizophrenic and his Dybbuk off Seleucus. Delmore moves away, music. Smoky city night. In light, Delmore lurches along in squares, like city blocks. Milton in shadow behind him. Milton, 2nd day, 8 July, 9. I follow him. He's spewing bad puns. Delmore, promiscuity is just around the coroner. And worse rhymes. Hemlock, wedlock, shambling through Times Square at midnight. Yale lock, talking to himself. Charade, masquerade, persuade, dismayed. Lumber, slumber, cucumber, cyanide, matricide. Suicide. A rolling stone gathers no remorse. Up and down Broadway, 6th Avenue we go. It isn't the Dybbuk that haunts him, it's his past and mine. Milton is now in shadow and Delmore in the light. Rabbi? Milton is the rabbi. Yes. I need to talk to you. To what purpose? I want you to understand me. I understand you only too well. The heavy bear who goes with me, honey to smear his face. You think of no one but yourself. Clumsy and lumbering, in love with candy, anger and sleep. A Jew is his family and his community. Climbs the building, kicks the football, fights his brother in the hate-ridden city. He unites himself with others, howls in his sleep for a world of sugar. He keeps the commandments, howls in his sleep because the tightrope trembles and shows the darkness beneath. You live for foolishness, for nothing. He stretches to embrace those very dear with whom I would walk without him near. You think poetry is God. Stumbles, flounders, and strives to be fed, dragging me with him in his mouthing care. You are a selfish drunkard. Amid the 100 millions of his kind, the battle of desire is everywhere. With a Jew like you, how will we survive? Music. Delmore stumbles on. Milton follows. The bench appears. Moonlight. Delmore, talking Milton to death, is also staring at the bench. Milton. Third day, 9 July, 3 a.m., Bryant Park. When they divorced, my father tried to buy me from my mother for $75,000. She wouldn't sell me. When he died, there was nothing but paper. The bench. The bench? It's bigger than it was. So is the table in the diner. Look, it's the middle of the night. It's damp. We'll catch cold. I want to leave. Where can we go? To bed, maybe? Who can sleep? I can. Pills help booze. This, Delmore takes a gun from his pocket. He holds it in his hand, loosely poisoned. Put that away. Gas. Be careful with that thing. Rope, window. Delmore, famous one day, garbage the next. This bench. The diner. Where are we? Bryant Park. Middle of the night. Delmore, put the gun down. There's somebody there. Yes, Delmore. Moving around. It's New York. You brought them here. The park. You want me gone? Of course not. You want me dead. You want me buried. Bang! He fires the gun into the night. Milton, stop it. Milton jumps up, grabs the gun out of Delmore's hand, throws it away into the park. Delmore attacks Milton, slamming him back down on the bench. Bastard! Help! Delmore shakes Milton by the throat, choking him. Klonsky! Help, you bastard! Police siren, blackout strobe, flashing red lights. Delmore sits in a chair. Milton puts a blanket over his lap. Fourth day, 10 July, he's been in Bellevue before. Does he whisper behind my back? Does he speak of my clumsiness? Does he laugh at me, retailing my shame? The straitjacket. I'll whirl about, denounce him, saying that he is shameless, he is treacherous. The wet sheets. No more, my friend, nor will I once again, never, admit 1,000 meetings in the street, recognize his face, take his hand, not for our common love or old time's sake. He whispered behind my back. He mimicked me, the drugs. I know the reason why. I too have done this, cruel for wit's sake. Behind my friend's back, I have mimicked him. I have been treacherous for wit's sake. The locked room. How cruel it is that pride and wit distort the heart of man. What can we do? The screams next door. We need each other's clumsiness, each other's wit, each other's company, and our own pride. Then silence in the wards. Milton goes to Delmore. Morning. Is that a Tribune? Yes. Rogers Hornsby, 1921 to 25, batted .402 for the Cardinals. Hornsby couldn't get along with anybody. But when he was traded to the Giants, he hit .361. Then the Giants got rid of him, and they left New York for San Francisco. That's desertion for you. Read me the Trib? Sure. Milton opens his newspaper. Mets 9, Phil 6, Yanks 5, Red Sox 2. Mantle 3-run liner in the right field seats. He's at 269. 8 homers in 6 days last week. But 1 single in 6 games this week. On the road, it's 1 hit, 23 times at bat. Mantle says, you can't hit 500 all the time. You just can't. Delmore, what happened to the gun? I threw it away. Did the police find it? It went under a bush, otherwise you'd be in the tombs. I had you by the throat? Sort of. Why? You didn't like me. No, why do you let me do these things? That's the question. What's the answer? I'm asking. I'm saying I do what I please. Get well, Delmore. Belmont today. I have so much to do. In the first, high Heron, crafty, damn delicate. If they let me, I'll go back to my hotel. Friendly ghost, yucca, shore dancer, fuss, bowfish, and baby Dorca. I'll cut my soul from my body. In the second, Kitty Quick, Captain Toby, Tiger Lynn. Throw my body in the garbage, send my soul where? After the fact, lurid, snow balance, brave Contessa, heiress, and playland. No pick in the first. What will become of you and me, besides the photo and the memory? In the second place, in the second place, Tiger Lynn, show, playland. Time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which we burn. Win, brave Contessa. That's Belmont. Now what? Music, change of light. Milton takes off his jacket and sits in his shirt sleeves. Delmore changes jackets. The light becomes bright and warm. Delmore now wears a clean linen jacket. He is very handsome at 29. Milton is 19. Delmore is speaking at an art colony, quiet and calm with knowledge and charm. Milton listens. Delmore. In 1614, it was the first clinical portrait of a modern madman. Don Quixote and Sancho Panza are the two sides of a paranoid schizophrenic. The madman fighting to save the world, his sensible self fighting to save the madman. What Cervantes put at the end was a poem, not lofty or grand, simple rhymes, fuerte, muerte, poco loco. The last line, he died cured of living crazy. Thank you. Milton turns away from Delmore, who approaches him. Delmore stands by, waits. Milton turns away further, scowling. You're Milton Klonsky. I read your manuscript, The End Pocket, a poem as a pool table. No answer. It's very philosophical. It's very metaphysical. It's very rigid. It's very hung up and unpublished. Then an essay, Brighton Beach, entertaining. I'm told you know everything. British formalists, French symbolists, Jewish mystics, Eliot, Stevens, me. You read me? Everybody reads you. What do you think? You're wild, and you're unpublished. Why? None of your goddamn business. Brooklyn, huh? Brighton Beach, Russia. Eastern Parkway, me, Romania. Remember the gangs, the Red Knights, the Falcons? When I'm a kid, the Eastern Parkway Trojans catch me coming home from school. Say, take down your pants and show us your dick. The turning point in a boy's life. I can either take down my pants and be a coward or tell them to go to hell and get beat up. I do both. I unbutton my 10-year-old fly, pull it out, shake it in their faces, say, who's first? They laugh and leave me alone. I am struck, Klonsky, by the power of metaphor. I decided to be a poet. When did you? You're the poet, not me. Why not yet? Not yet. Why not yet? I don't write with a hose pipe, like me, like you. Well, if you try something besides metaphysical pool tables, you'll do better. Get lost. Read Blake. I see somebody, I know what they should read. You should read Blake. I'll make a note of it. I will not reason and compare for other men. Read Blake. How many cantos of the Divine Comedy did Blake illustrate? I don't know. 102. What did he die of? I don't know. Gallstones. You don't know a lot. I know you look like a scared-to-death Manhattan Jew boy. Brooklyn Jews like you and me are tougher than that. Blake, I will not reason and compare for other men. I will create. Oh, you create. I'll just write. Blake died poor. You afraid of that? See you around. Your pool table poem will appear in the Hudson Review. Your essay and commentary. You're going to be published, Klonsky. Live in the village. Meet me at the White Horse. You and I will not reason and compare for other men. Poverty, maybe, but not that. Congratulations. Delmore slaps Milton on the back, moves away. Milton, he is called the only new voice since Pound and Eliot. I am his, and he is mine. Music, the White Horse. Delmore stands by the bar. Milton gets a book. Excited, he goes through Delmore. I got it. Have a drink. Starts with Hardy and Hopkins, Dickinson, Yates, Frost, Eliot, Pound, Stevens, Auden, you, and Dylan Thomas. Elizabeth Bishop, after you. The best of us. I met another good woman in here one night. She said her name was Elrita. She wanted to be an actress. Strike one, I said. In New York, Elrita's the maid, like Delmore's the apartment house. Elrita polished the silver. Too bad he had to move into the Delmore. What's in the book that's mine? Well, The Heavy Bear, Plato's Cave, Time Fire, Life in His Hands, Socrates' Ghost, I'm Tired and Unhappy, Calmly We Walk This April Day. 7, not bad. Do Not Fear the Dark. No. Why not? I don't know. Delmore speaks softly to Milton, do not fear the dark, and sleep's dark possession, O child, when you go to sleep. You become bird and beast and tree, a pony among horses, a sapling in the forest. And then you are one with the beaver, one with the little animals warm in the sun, resting and hidden when it is white winter. Should have been in there. Drink up. Don't you want to see the book? No. Between 1900 and 1906, 70,000 Jews left Romania. Huh? For America. My father and mother among them. What's this now? Where pleasure, profit, progeny, and square dancing awaited them. Okay, I get it. All right, let's get drunk. They drink, getting tight. Delmore, men on the street selling. Milton, Joe Penner, want to buy a duck? Delmore, women singing songs. Fanny Bryce, I don't know whether to do it or not. Where they had you and me. Papa's in business making good. Mama's in the kitchen singing Yiddish fast. Rat-a-tat-tat like Danny Kaye. Romania, Ashania, Fania, Romania together. Romania can't explain you. Boys in America. Curious, avid. Roses are red, violets are blue. Face like yours belongs in a zoo. Moses in high school. Uncle Sam equals Elijah with a star-spangled vest. How much Talmud do you know? As little as possible. Graduation. The real world. The future. Take the local, take the express. Don't get off till you reach success. In dismay, the pricks of athletes wilt. In expectation, the pricks of A students stiffen. Leaving home, marriage, the white tablecloth, the soft silk and silver, the custom and order, knowing all the time, nothing is lost. Huh? The whole of the world we came from is left behind. Milton, you go Romania and Russia, all that we were, all that we had, oh, come on, wait a minute. It flows away down Yankee rivers with Cherokee names. Now, hold it. Romania, you can't explain, you wasn't any lovely land of milk and honey. It was stuck and hopeless. It was poor in the shtetl and dead on the steppes. We became something else, something new, but what? What we please. This is the land of milk and honey, is it? My father made money, threw it away. That's not the country's fault. Come on, Delmore. He sold anything and everything, newspapers, kitchen counters, clothes, made a fortune and lost it, and here I am selling art. Will I lose that like he did? How? You know, a career in poetry, not business. American poetry, same thing. You want Yiddish? Maybe I should. Breaking into Yiddish now would be like breaking into prison. I love this life, like you love a baseball and I love a horse. All right, the refuge of sport, right. The cap, the bat, the cleats, the stirrup, the saddle, the winner's circle, the green grass, the ease, the nonchalance, win, place, and show, the swing of Ted Williams, the canter of Secretariat, crowds and great occasions. For you, blondes, the track, and rent control. For you, baseball, poetry, and Fifth Avenue parades. The stars and stripes forever. But oh, Romania can't explain ye. Change of light, music, a Yiddish singer singing Romania, Romania, who is overtaken by Sousa, which is overtaken by bar music. For a moment, both men are silent, listening to the music of their American life. Then it's over. Change of light. Milton, he never stops working, writing his poems with a hose pipe, while I sweat blood. He wins prizes, he's a hero, he never sleeps. Delmore, what the hell is this? It's a poem, Delmore, I know that. I mean, Prince Carlo Gesualdo, a sonnet? Yes. It's a Petrarchian car wreck of mixed images. Why don't you just say what you mean? My poetry is complicated. You make it that way, so nobody can understand it and say it's lousy. Well, I understand it, and it's lousy. Thank you. Klonsky, you're writing a sonnet about an Italian composer of madrigals in the 16th century. He also murdered his wife. Your poem of Mediterranean, and not to say labyrinthine complexity, seems to be all about Gesualdo's influence on modern music, especially Stravinsky. That's right. But for God's sakes, man, what about the wife? Oh, well, she's sleeping with a lover and saying, what are you going to do about it? The prince pretends to go on a trip. He sneaks back into his castle with 3 guards. He breaks into the bedroom, and you know. No, I don't know. What? The lover gets 3 spears stuck in him. Gesualdo cuts his wife's throat. That's it? Well, he watches while the guards slice up their genitals. Yeah. He dresses the lover's body in his wife's gown. He dumps them both on the castle steps, rides off, and gets away with it. It's disgusting. In my sonnet, Stravinsky, Klonsky, never mind Stravinsky, music history ain't poetry. Humiliation, adultery, bloody murder, and castration by a man cross-dressing a corpse and composing music, that's poetry. Write that. You're wrong. Poetry can be about anything. No, it can't. Yes, it can. Not every poem has to be about men like bears eating honey, or lovers with sunshine all over the place, or time burning everybody up. I can write poetry my own way, not when nobody cares. How about you? Plato's Cave, Socrates' Ghost, they're simple. They're about trying to sleep and trying to love, not Plato and Socrates. Write about yourself, for God's sakes, not your stupid ideas. You don't want me to write poetry at all. Not your way, schmuck, no. Because that's what you do, but not me. When are you going to write about Blake? Oh, God, no, not Blake again. 1 essay here, 1 book review there, nothing else. You got to get to work, Klonsky. You got to yell and scream inside. You got to jump up and down and wave your arms and stamp your feet and tear yourself up like that. How can I, with you all over me? You know what's wrong with you? Yeah, I got a famous friend. That's what's wrong with me. You waste your time inventing things. You read 500 books, produce 4 lines, go to the track, 2 lines. Exhausted, you go to bed. Then you tear it all up. Years later, it comes out in a god-awful sonnet. Don't be so smart, Klonsky. Spill your guts. Oh, please. Stop hiding behind your intellect. It's dumb. Delmore moves away. He stops. He coughs. He has a fever. He lies down. Milton brings him a glass of water. Oh, God, I'm dying. It's just the flu. Here. Aspirin, take it. Water, every half hour a glass. I want a martini. 1 before dinner. Dinner, healthy food. Like what? Barley soup. That sounds good. What else? Steak, mashed potatoes, green peas, vanilla ice cream. I'll never survive. You're as strong as a horse in the stretch. Go to sleep. Sleep. Me? You're sick. Pass out. You'll hang around. Sure. Listen, Milton. It's too bad you can't write. Okay? Yeah, thanks. Go to sleep. Okay. You're right. My brilliance is beyond description. Students and their professors both consult me. No mind so precise, no sensibility so acute, no imagination so astonishing. But when I try to write a poem, the words run away from me like cockroaches, under the sink, up the wall, down the drain. If I wait, they come out again. They wave their cockroach whispers at me and look about. I know them all as well as my name. There's moon, there's spasm, there's fire, there's love behind the sink, there's truth who takes to drink. I write doggerel and great poems I make sure nobody can ever understand. Delmore gets up, Milton sits. Delmore comes up behind him. You're working here? Right here. Doing what? I'm an editor. Klonsky, what's wrong with it? My Father's Life by Irma Fieldstone, Meditation and Inspiration by Maxwell McLaughlin. It's a job. It's a vanity press. It's their money. And your life, I'm being practical. You're being a dope. You're for real and they're not. I write nice letters and informative essays. I want to cut my throat. That would be better than working here. I'm sorry you're not Keats and Shelley, but who is? And so what? What else can I do? Write about Blake. Oh, no, not Blake again. Edit Blake, love Blake. So you're not Keats and Shelley. You're still wonderful. You know it all. Give it away. The world needs you. I need you. Blake needs you. Give. Delmore turns his back. Then he gets me a grant so I can quit. I didn't have the razor, but I was saving the pills. I threw them away. Pleasant music. Delmore, when a boy leaves his mother, Milton, he marries the girl just like her. Delmore, the perfect apartment, beautifully appointed. Milton, disaster, a marriage spent at the movies. Delmore, he was rigid, she got frigid. Oi, what a lovely waltz. Milton, you get another wife, and of all things a farm in New Jersey. Mice, flies, and doors falling off hinges. But the new wife is beautiful. Milton turns to Delmore. Second wife, says Delmore. Milton, a writer and a blonde. She adores you. We'll live on the farm. Mice and flies, music on the suitcase phonograph, Beethoven and brandy, flights of vodka, canned soup, paradise. Delmore, peaceable kingdom. What is to be given is spirit, yet animal. Colored like heaven, blue, yellow, beautiful. Yet let us now be careful, for like a gun is touch. Milton, hi, I'm Milton Klonsky, Delmore's friend. I'm here for a visit. Delmore, I'm his wife. Pleased to meet you. You're a blonde. Pleased to meet you. You tell her she's a perfect little farmer. She doesn't like it. You tell her she's a chorus girl. She doesn't like that either. She says, get that man out of here. I ask myself, why? Klonsky, you son of a bitch. I said, what? I knew you were a rat, you evil black bag of scum, but I never dreamed you'd go after her. Me, you. Your wife despises me. She's blonde, she's smart, she's beautiful, and she's shy. What do you know about my wife? I know blondes. She thinks I'm a pig and you're a bully. Give her some credit. She's doing the best she can with you. She's finished her book. When did that happen? Poems, a novel. What's it about? Silly people in love. I don't know. It's finished, yeah? It's published, yeah? It's in paperback. Oh, well. It's selling 200,000 copies. Sheesh. Delmore, I'm happy for her. Milton, and the seasons turn. Delmore, Klonsky, help. I got trouble with my wife. What kind of trouble? My wife says to me, Delmore, stop talking. It's 3 in the morning, please. How about when you said talk forever? Please be quiet. When you said my voice thrilled you, shut up. When you said I smelled like honey, not anymore. Why do you keep taking the car? I just need to drive around. Where do you go? Don't tell me the grocery store. I go where it's peaceful. I go where you don't blow up because a man lights my cigarette. I go where I can think something out for myself. Think out what? When? To see who? Stop it, please. She slanders me now. To other writers, to my friends, my doctor, my chickens, and my flies. Looking around all the time, trips to New York, Rockefeller, some waiter. Anybody? Why, yes, I'll have lunch, join me. And this is wanton and cruel, and I am the bastard in it. Why? You beat her to death with words. Words break bones, words fracture skulls. Yours do. And she leaves me, goes, and worse, stays gone. Know why? No, Delmore. I see him. He's standing outside waiting for her. Do you see his face? Yes. It's Nelson Rockefeller? No. Well then, some man, I look in the paper, Nelson Rockefeller is in India. Can't be him. No. No, no. So I'm relieved. All right. But who was the man? He had on a suit and a tie. In the country? It wasn't him. He looked rich. There are lots of Rockefellers. I'm sorry your wife left you, but he didn't do it. I'm not so sure. Yes, he did. Delmore reads his paper. Milton, now everybody's against you. We all betray you. Your list of our wrongs is endless. Your mother as well as your father, the Jews as well as the Goyim, wives, lovers, editors, friends, critics, poets lending you money, deans hiring you, students listening to you, scenes, arrests, lawsuits, hospitals. You insult everybody, curse everybody, say unspeakable things to everybody that can never be unsaid, and they do the same to you. Delmore, the poisonous world flows into my mouth like water into a drowning man's. You stop talking to everybody but me. Me, you keep around. I'm not a publisher. I'm not a critic, not a rival, not a wife. We're not even queer. You're a bore. Rotten thing to say. You Shakespeare one day, Walter Winchell the next. I write poems. You can't. You kill me with words. Pedant, bully, dilettante, braggart, weasel, loudmouth, fake, killer, coward. Delmore walks away. Milton, wait. Did you ever have the feeling that you want him to go, and yet you had the feeling that you want him to stay, and yet you had the feeling that you want... Like Jimmy Durante, he knew. Anyway, it was Delmore who went to hell. To Syracuse to wreck another of his academic lives, which he did, along with the faculty office, several hotel rooms, a department store, some telephone booths, a bar window. In and out of jail. Then suddenly he left. He came back to New York, to Times Square, to write and drink in his Fleabag Hotel. Time is the fire. How could I leave him? Music, change of light. Delmore sits again in the chair with the blanket over. Milton puts the blanket over his legs again. Third day, 10 July, Bellevue again. To Delmore, let's rehearse. 1, you did me no harm. Well, I did try to kill you. You're sick. 2, you want me to get well. Yeah, you want to get well. I have a Dybbuk? Okay. Coriolanus? Fine. What about Nelson Rockefeller? Good. I can prove it. No, 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 no. You tell them it's a paranoid obsession. But Nelson Rockefeller could and did screw other men's wives. Vast wealth, governor of New York, paid spies, that woman over here, that woman over, and my wife. Look, you say it like that, they'll throw away the key. What if I explain calmly, rationally, all my poems to intelligent doctors? What will happen then? This is Bellevue, not Park Avenue. What do you think will happen then? I know a doctor who's a child of immigrants. He likes my stories. He says my insights are insightful. He isn't here. I have great common sense. I sometimes go on too long. Just ask for help. A poet wrecked by philosophy, not the first. They know about obsessions. How about yours? You fall in love with every blonde you see. I'm not in Bellevue. Stay here and get help. I'm getting out. You can't. Oh, yes, I can. We'll see. You'll tell them the truth? Of course. You promise? Yes. Sure. See ya. Good luck. Thanks. Delmore moves away, prepares himself. Milton takes up a hand mic. Milton, Coriolanus and his mother is this awful epic poem he can't stop writing. When he writes about the Jews, he can be caustic but gentle and funny. About Coriolanus, he can be savage. Hemingway in his Key West bar turned around every night and told the world his mother was a bitch. Delmore is a better man than that. But in Coriolanus, there they are, the mother, the father, the poets, and the Jews coming after him. He sees the doctors. 4th day, Bellevue. Lights dim on Milton. Spotlight center stage. Delmore steps forward to face the hospital psychiatrist. Milton's voice comes from the back of the auditorium. Milton, as the psychiatrist. Good morning. Delmore answers, calm, composed, good morning. Mr. Schwartz, nobody calls me that. I'm Delmore, unfortunately. Why, unfortunately? My mother named me after a Pullman car. She thought it sounded Goyische. Mr. Schwartz, oi. May we ask what exactly is your relationship to Mr. Klonsky? Oh, he's a sort of a friend. He admires me. We interviewed him when you were brought in. He said you were hearing voices, true? Klonsky for you. I told him I hear words. I'm a writer, so words? Yes, sometimes a sort of Yiddish I can't understand from my mother, I suppose, who could hardly speak anything else, not unusual. He also said you might think Nelson Rockefeller stole your wife. I sure do think Nelson Rockefeller stole my wife. It's possible. Can we discuss that? It's not possible. What discussion? He said you might tell us about Coriolanus. Coriolanus is a play by Shakespeare. We know that. Coriolanus wins a battle, like me, writing poetry. Then he's defeated. Writing poetry is fighting a war to the death. You have to win prizes. Like me, so the Romans give Coriolanus prizes. He speaks his mind, like me. They throw him out of the city. He calls them dogs. He makes war on Rome itself. He wins. The city is his. Enter his mother. Now, what about her? She says, my son, stop it, you're killing me. He's making war on her. He stops. That gets him killed. Do you think your mother is going to kill you? No, she's dead. Do you think Nelson Rockefeller is going to kill you? He is alive. You're an intelligent man, Mr. Schwartz. Don't you think that an unlikely suspicion? You mean a far-fetched fear? Exactly. No, look at Klonsky. He writes books about Tamerlane, Stalin, and Hitler. All Jews are paranoid, with reason. Very well. Can you discuss your childhood? You mean my mother and father, Freud for psychiatrists? If you can. Sure I can, but in a story so you can understand it. Briefly, my father is telling the story with my mother listening. In the background you must see two ugly ships arriving from Romania with them on it young. They arrive, they get married, they have a son, he grows. One day the father tells his son a story. The mother listening. He calls it The Jew in America. Will this take long? Once upon a time, a man and his son and a pony start out for town on a beautiful day. The son rides the pony. All three are pleased. The father because he is going to sell the pony and buy a gun to kill deer. The son because he will get a pair of boxing gloves. The pony because he is exercising himself and the weather is fine. Mr. Schwartz, this is very interesting. They haven't gone a mile when they pass an old man with a whip in his hands. He says, you selfish boy, you who are young and strong ride the pony while your father has to walk. Get down and honor your father. So the boy does and the father gets on the pony. We have a very large, they go another mile. A man with a sword stops them. He says, dreadful, a boy must walk while a man rides like he's a king. The boy says, Father, why can't we both ride the pony? See that you do, says the man, and goes his way. There are so many other patients. They go another mile. When a man with a gun stops them, he says, heartless wretches, both riding one pony. What a cruelty to a poor animal. Get off or I will shoot. I think we get the idea. They get off. Gunman departs. The father says, son, something is always wrong. We will walk, and the pony will walk beside us. That should satisfy everybody, if you please. No sooner have they gone another mile when they meet another man. He just shakes his head. What's wrong with you, he says. What's a pony for, if not to ride? Then he walks on before they can explain all the problems involved in riding a pony. The father says, son, we will always be at the mercy of one or the other of these men. What's the only thing left to satisfy all sides? We must carry the pony. There just isn't time. As hard as it was, they carry the pony into town. No sooner do they get there than the traders buying and selling and swapping horses laugh and laugh and laugh at them. So does the man with the gun, the man with the sword, the man who shook his head, who are all there laughing. Please, please. The father is furious. What are you laughing at, he says. Well, you fool, said the horse traders. Who ever heard of carrying a pony? It's supposed to carry you. Thank you for the story. Now, the father feels completely helpless. He cannot bear being laughed at. His son hides his face in shame. The father can't stand it. He grabs the man's gun and bang, bang, bang. He shoots the pony, shoots his son, shrugs his shoulders and shoots himself. Oh, my mother is furious at my father for telling their child such a story. Soon all the hate between them erupts, shameless and brutal. They list every past wrong they committed, each against the other. They stamp and yell. They curse their marriage. They forget their son, who weeps over the ship he never saw, sailing from Romania. That was my childhood. And I survived them both. Well, all I want is to live in my hotel room and write. If things get worse, I know where the hospital is. I am sane. We agree. Mr. Schwartz, you are discharged. Delmore turns to Milton happy. Well, that's that. You pleased with yourself? Sure I am. Psychiatrists can think, but they can't write. I showed them how. And you think you're okay? I am okay. No, you're not. You're making a mistake. leaving Bellevue, convincing yourself you're all right. So what is this? You're the hospital now? Klonsky, my Bellevue? What else? I'm going to work. Call me at the hotel at 7. I'll meet you in the park and take you to the Oak Room. You don't have any money, Delmore. At 7. Well, there is here a missing scene, which I will write, God willing, in which there's some stuff that goes on as Delmore's progression progresses. Milton, 10 July evening, I write a whole sentence, my week's work. No answer at the hotel, of course. I go to the park, no. Automat, no. Fifth Avenue Library, no. The library is open till 9. Milton moves as if into the Fifth Avenue Library main reading room. Here, Delmore came as a young man in the Depression, I not long after him, into the huge reading room. Under a moldering sky of a painted ceiling, we called up book after book and soaked ourselves in the salvation of words. A library table appears with a huge book on it. I call up the Kabbalah. Yes, there are Dybbuk's, but they're not all the same. In Brighton Beach Hebrew School, an old rabbi had a beard like steel wool. He picked his nose and slapped me on the head, but in Poland, he met the great exorcist, Rebbe Elchanan Bunin Wasserman. I looked Rebbe Wasserman up. I read and read and read and read and read and read and read. What would he say about Delmore? Rebbe, help my friend. What's the matter with him? He's a self-destructive writer. That's what's the matter with him. He hears a voice in some kind of Yiddish, thinks it's a Dybbuk wrecking his life. What does he write? Well, music is not water, but it moves like water. It is not fire, but soars warm as the sun. It is not rock, it is not fountain, but rock and fountain, clock and mountain abide within it, bound together. That's Delmore. So what do you think, Rebbe? It's not a Dybbuk? Gilgulim? What's that? Good Dybbuks? My friend is not in need. He's fortunate. Rebbe, he's suicidal. He's alcoholic and addicted to pills. He's tortured by demons. When his money runs out, he'll hear that voice say, open a window and jump or shoot yourself, and he will. He won't? Why not? Because Gilgul is the transmigration of blessed souls achieving perfection. I can call it a Dybbuk if I want to, but my friend protects an angelic being. It is painful, it seems demonic. A man gives his own body a shelter. He suffers for it, since a Gilgulim striving for fulfillment twists and turns, speaking and singing in unknown voices. When it is time, the spirit must leave him. After a terrible struggle, for it has come to love its human home, the spirit will fly directly to heaven. Rebbe, Jews don't believe in heaven. What Hebrew school did I go to? Heaven is the fulfillment of the soul. Okay. There was in the 10th century in Warsaw, Gilgulim inside a madman, okay? When it was asked, how do we know you are not a Dybbuk? It said, because I turn away wrath. When asked, how do you turn away wrath? It said, what should I do with those who hate me if one who loves me I condemn? Rebbe, with all respect, I can't hand a madman something sounds like a fortune cookie. Maybe in Poland, but in Manhattan my friend is a paranoid schizophrenic. What can I say to him? What does it mean? The question is for my friend. The answer is for me. Oh? I am Gilgulim? Rebbe, I'm not a blessed spirit. Compared to Delmore, I am. Well, could we both be? Don't get greedy. Okay. All will be well, but not as we expect. Goodbye. Thank you, Rebbe Wasserman. 7 o'clock, I leave the library, go to the park behind it, no Delmore. Wait, no Delmore. Hour goes by, hotel, automat, 49th Street bar, hotel again. I'm worried. 9, 10, 11, the 40s, like all the side streets buried beneath Times Square, has its neighborhoods. They are cramped, twisted, and anonymous, alleyway back of the building populations. But on July 10th, it remembered a big man stopping people gently on midnight streets. Delmore approaches Milton, who is a cop. On 47th Street, a cop who can't be bothered. Delmore, the world was warm and white when I was born. Warm in the heart and hearth of light, its whiteness was almond and bone, and hope was infinite. Milton, out of the theater, a pretty woman. For 56 or 1,000 years I will live with you and be your friend. And what your body and your spirit bears, I will like my own body cure and tend. For I am nothing unless you turn to me in your troubled sleep. An angry old man and his wife. Appease the child in her. She is terrified by a look that was not meant for her. Tell her how you know nothing can be taken that was not given. Beer-drinking tough guys who listen. Time is a dancing fire at 21, singing and shouting and drinking the sun, powerful at the wheel of the motor car, not thinking of death, foreign and far. And a legless man on a board, because each one is afraid to be alone. Each one with his death in the lonely room. Face yourself. Constantly go back to what you were, your own history. You must meet your death face to face. You must, like one in an old play, decide once and for all your heart's place there. In death's shadow you comprehend your final wish, world without end. Milton, that's where he was, but where is he now? I come back to the park after midnight, against the library walls in the summer shadows warm, under the trees, bums start settling in for the night. Delmore shows up. Deep shadows enter Delmore swiftly. He is in bad shape. His hair and clothes disheveled, his jacket in his hands, his tie loose, his shirt out and flopping. He speaks intently with great concentration. Plato and Dryden were wrong when they said poets were practically insane. Now, the poetics for vagrants. There is no such thing as free verse, only different kinds of rhythm. People say I'm crazy, but when I say T.S. Eliot hates Jews, nobody believes me. I know Eliot doesn't like me, but would he try to kill me? I don't think so. They listen for a while, then they go to sleep. They don't even rob him. Only very powerful people can kill a man in St. Vincent's Hospital, but somebody will. I have to be very careful. T.S. Eliot couldn't do it if he wanted to, but there are those who can, and I know who they are. That's why I don't sit down anymore. It's Dylan Thomas died at St. Vincent's, Delmore. When I'm an infant in the cradle, I cry a lot and get attention. Now I cry out loud in blank verse. The results are spectacular. It's me, Milton. The greatest influences on my work are Shakespeare and the Great Depression of 1929. You don't know who I am, do you? That awful poverty robbed us of every single thing except a poem on a sunny day. Amor, omnia vincit, love conquers all, and poetry is its own reward. I am a student of the morning light and of the evil native to the heart. When did I lie and say this age is good? I am twice torn, my brain sliced open, watching snowflakes die. Do you wear your heart like a crown? What? Like a crown, your heart. What? It's a song on the jukebox. It says things. You should listen. Wondrous things lie within it. Oh, look over there. Where? In the shadows under the tree. Nothing's there, Delmore. It's a man and a woman. They're looking for someone. They're waving. I have to talk to them. Delmore moves away, has a conversation with a man and a woman who aren't there. Milton, I don't know what to do. Delmore returns, straightening his collar and a tie and jacket. Delmore, okay. What are they looking for? For me. They admit everything I say about them is true. She left me for him. He put a dybbuk in my head. They even shook hands with me. Who? My wife and Nelson Rockefeller. They hope I'm not too angry with them. I say I am, but they should live a long life. They say I will die soon. I say I know it. You do? It was all very friendly. But now, all of a sudden, I feel bad about it. I mean, well, yeah? Are they there? The man and woman under the trees? Nelson Rockefeller and my wife, yes. Of course they are. You think so? I do. How can you tell? They're in your thoughts? Yes. Your thoughts are in the world? Yes. Then they are in the world. Oh, see? Yes, they're real. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I feel better. I shame you. I find you. Hey, diggy, 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 dum, bum, bum. I get him to eat half a steak and a potato at Tad's. I walk him around till it feels like rain. We go to the 49th Street bar where he pretends nothing is happening. Sometimes he hears what I say, sometimes he doesn't. He reads his paper. Koufax and McLean. Can I tell you, please, don't cut your throat or jump out a window, please. You're a great American poet, please. National League All-Star games, that I don't care anymore how crazy you are. 18 won, 17 lost, 1 tied. I like what you do with your life in 37 years. Live in Times Square. Better than 50-50. Write what you please. Never give up. Distant thunder, faint lightning. Rain? Yes, some sort of electric storm. How are you? I'm fine. What are you reading? Saratoga. Besides, Blake, Yeats, and Bomba the Jungle Boy. Tarzan? Sure. We read everything, everything. I have a question for you. Okay. What should I do? Come on, after me. What should I do with those who hate me? With those who hate me? When one who loves me, I condemn. I condemn. The question is for you. Why? It turns away wrath. The answer is for me. They should live a long life. Delmore reads his paper. We must go. Oh, yeah? Let me go. Okay. Set me free. Sure. Now I do it. Okay. I set you free. Okay. Go in peace. Okay. Right. More rain. Delmore gets up to go. Milton does too. Delmore, no, stay here. You look better. There's color in your face. Milton. Yes? I didn't say anything mean to you, did I? Never. See ya. Delmore leaves the bar. Milton follows him. Patter of wind and rain and city. Change of light. Milton and Delmore sit next to each other, ghostly as they were at the beginning of the play. Milton, 5th and last day. 11 July. You get back to your hotel room. You write until 3 in the morning. You take out the garbage. You have to go down to the lobby to do that. You feel a little funny. You get in the elevator, you press 1, your chest hurts, you can't breathe. You stop the elevator, you get out, you're in a hallway, you drop the garbage, you collapse. You tear at your clothes. It takes a long time. You lie there for hours. Delmore, free of me, you published 7 books in 10 years, the best on Blake. You jump up and down and stamp your feet. You read Singer, Bellow, and Roth, who came after me. You get a cough, blood. You have lung cancer, then a stroke. No transition. You're put in a pauper's ward. Goodbye, rent control, the village, and the track. On your deathbed, you marry a blonde so she can have your apartment. I bring you a letter to Delmore Schwartz, $10,000 for your work as an American poet. I find you in the morgue. Nobody knows who you are but me. Delmore stands, one hand on Milton's shoulders. Light slowly brightens as he speaks. How strange it all appears at last, with a hey and a ho in the stupid past. I feel as old as worn-out shoes, although I must myself accuse, not when I win, but when I lose. I know what follies I have kissed. I know what I have lost or missed. Yet this knowledge, like the Jews, can make us glad that we exist. Although this wind and rain persist, how we are glad that we exist. The light makes them both radiant, then fades. This play is dedicated to the memory of Milton Klonsky by Janet Fish, Charles Parness, and Romulus Linney. Thank you very much.